the beliefs that you currently hold, what percentage of those are you convinced are accurate?
They need to make boats out of NAI1, the alien element that's on the periodic table.
Alien metal.
And then we would be able to, the magnet, but then if the aliens didn't want us to use our magnets, they just like shut off the energy magnetic zone on us, because they'd have that physically figured out and we don't.
That's funny.
They're so smart. And right back to aluminum. And we got aluminum boats again in the future.
What was your name?
Branden.
Branden? I'm
Yeah.
David.
Nice to meet you, David.
Branden.
I know, it's so weird. They
I've
mess
seen
me
that
up
before.
on trackers all the time.
I've seen that before. All right, and so you wanted to talk about aliens?
Yeah, I mean, we can call them, they get classified all kinds of different things. Aliens, extraterrestrials, ET,
Mhm.
the others.
What do you define aliens? How do you define an alien?
The definition to me of an alien would just be something that is self-aware, cognitive, that isn't born or native to Earth, like made of matter from our planet.
Non-native to Earth.
Non-native to Earth,
Okay.
simply put.
And so on a scale from 0 to 100, how confident are you that aliens are real?
I'm like 99.9.
99.9?
You can't ever be like 100% with anything. I don't know. It's really hard to have absolute surety with anything and
So
what we perceive.
so 99? 99.9?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real number.
How confident are you that if I let go of this marker, it'll fall to the whiteboard?
Isaac Newton says it will.
How confident are you that it will right now?
I'm confident that it will right now, but I'm not absolutely sure. I mean, something could alter that. But
Are you higher or lower than 99.9?
I'm at the same. It's that 0.1, that what if, you know?
Okay, so you're at the same confidence level that if I let go of my marker, it'll fall to my whiteboard, that you are the aliens are real.
Yes. Yes.
Same confidence level.
Yes. 99.9.
Okay. On a scale from 0 to 100, how confident are you, or what percentage of your conclusions are you convinced are accurate?
What percentage of my conclusions do I believe to be accurate?
Yeah.
Or have become accurate?
Are the beliefs that you currently hold, what percentage of those are you convinced are accurate?
I'd say 65%.
Okay. What percentage do you hope are accurate?
I would hope 100% would be
Okay.
of my beliefs, if I've chosen them.
Okay.
That would be kind of the definition of utopia.
Yeah, that would be your preference, though.
It would be my preference.
Got it. And you're convinced that about 65% of them are accurate.
To my knowledge today, yes.
Okay. Cool. What's the main reason that you think aliens are real to a confidence level of 99.9? Same as me dropping this pen and it hitting the whiteboard.
My own experiences as I've observed them in the world from my own perceptual view and my life experience.
You've observed aliens?
I've observed things that have happened, yes, in some time in the when I served in the military, but just based on my ability to communicate with others and kind of read whether they're blowing smoke or telling the truth. Like, you know, when people are storytelling at the bar, you kind of know when they're hyping up the story. There's just been way too much documented, you know, happenings and events and, you know, the sightings. And when people, I watch the interviews, how compelling they are when they're telling that. And then when I connect the dots between other studies that I've studied through being in the military or college or my youth, childhood, or something in the, you know, unexplained, a video you've watched, or maybe it's hard to deny some video released from the government of a fighter jet, you know, where you're like, that's not doctored imaging whatsoever. And then you're hearing people that are revered pilots of 30-something years speak about things flying, you know, and defying physics as we know them. It makes you believe that, you know, this isn't just a thing here on Earth that is a cult phenomenon or just some fun Bigfoot thing we believe in, you know, and who knows, there's a lot to go in with like the Bigfoot thing too. Like a lot of this stuff can like blend and tie together. Like we were talking about before we started rolling, how, you know, do you ever try to blend and connect things? But that's where I've gotten the most information, is from the blending and the connecting and the dots, you know. And had I stayed so closed-minded and only, you know, Roger that sergeant, you know, and done like a good soldier does, or, you know, it was my curiosity that allowed me to connect the dots. Like Einstein said, that's where the greatest inventions come from. People that have the ability to think of something that's never otherwise existed yet before. And they have divine abilities to invent and tap into their intuitions and creative processes and think of quantum mechanics and physics, and then think of something and then conjure, you know, the light bulb or the wheel or an iPhone or the camera that's allowed us to take the photo and document it. It's a trickle, and, you know, some call it the butterfly effect, but, you know, these are all theories, you know, just stuff that people believe. It's almost like the conversation about, you know, how we birthed communication, how there was a paragraph and, you know, everyone was in a line and you repeated the paragraph to the next guy and then the story was different all the way down the line. A lot of people theorized,
like telephone.
Yes,
telephone
that
effect.
You know, all of our knowledge that we hold in archive and libraries and what we perceive or believe we know is merely just paraphrased things that over time the reality of it kind of get a little distorted in the fine print, but it's what's lies in between the gray area in between those lines that allows us to connect those dots and believe in that 0.01% of what if.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you've got lots of reasons here. Your own personal observation, studies you've read about, other people's stories like pilots, and blending information.
And yes.
Which of those reasons supports your confidence the most? In other words, which reason, if we took that reason away, would cause you to decrease your confidence the most that aliens are real?
The only thing that would get that to change is if you, like, Men in Black, like, wiped my memory, like the little, like, maybe that thing actually exists, or they just kept these people, I don't know, on the streets looking like crazy bums saying, they're here, or I don't know, maybe it sounds wild, but you'd literally have to probably wipe my memory, like with the little Men in Black thing.
That would cause you to decrease your confidence?
Well, I wouldn't even then you would have erased my human experience on this earth.
Uh-huh.
You would have erased my memory.
That's the only way that you would not believe in aliens?
If you took any one of the one away, then if you just focused on the ones,
Like,
they would
which one's the
be
strongest of these for you? Which one's holding?
my personal observation.
Okay. Let's... Is it okay if we focus on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Why is observation a good reason to believe something to a confidence level of 99.9%?
Perception is reality.
Perception is reality. Okay.
If you see something, feel it, touch it, sense it with your own senses, you're going to believe it to be in reality and real. If you taste it, smell it, see it, feel it, touch it, you're going to believe that it is in existence.
Have you ever...
Otherwise, you would need to be deemed maybe schizophrenic or some kind of mental illness allowing you to hallucinate something that does not in fact exist, and that's been diagnosed by other multiple doctors that use the scientific method to come to a conclusion.
Have you ever been mistaken about something you've observed?
Yes, of course. Lots of people observe things all the time. I mean, I've seen things and thought that's an anomaly, but then it's turned out to just be a kid flying a drone or, in a weird erratic pattern. Who knows?
So if that's possible, why is observation a sufficient enough reason to be 99%?
Any one of the events is an anomaly or by itself could be called, there could be an excuse. Oh, that was just a weird weather pattern, or, a blimp, or, oh, that was, some explained this, or a hoax, or, oh, that was the government releasing some kind of hidden technology that they're test flying, or, some people say, oh, that's Bob Lazar's back-engineered or propulsion system that uses a different energy source in that NAI1 element, and so you could go off the charts talking about stuff like that, but I mean, like, at the end of the day, any one of them, could be an explained excuse, but like I said, when you've observed multiple and connected enough dots, it just gives you that 99.9 absolute surety that
Okay.
I have.
Okay. If aliens were not real, would you want to know?
I would want to know.
Okay. Okay. Is there a way to test to see if aliens are real?
Test to see. I think multiple people around the world are curious enough and attempting to do just that.
What would be a good test?
Complete transparency from multiple, agencies and government officials, and allowing there to be open communication across, national security and the Men in Black and Area 51 and just all the parties that keep the compartmentalized conversations. If they opened the doors and just said, what do you know? What do you know? And if they allowed everyone to connect the dots the way that all of us enthusiasts do on the streets,
Okay.
the UFO hunters and all them people, if they would just give them the answers, then I think you can get a lot more understanding out of it. I mean, that would be a good way to test it. Just transparency and, like, doing this, opening the communication up and making it normalized. I mean, I just got out of the movie, and that movie Nope, that's in theaters right now about this, like, very thing.
Yeah.
So it's, like, fresh, and I mean, I don't mean to trend on aliens because it's all over Walmart and Old Navy and everything, but I mean, it's kind of hard to negate the fact that the government's literally telling us that there's UAPs, and they're saying, there's stuff that they're not, like, saying there's aliens, but they're saying, like, there's stuff that's doing stuff that we can't do.
Uh-huh.
And that's saying something all underneath everything else that's happening in the world, and everyone's just like, nah, whatever, COVID, aliens are real. And I don't think anybody's, like I said, we've been, like, kind of desensitized by it, by just the whole topic of it that's been a cult phenomenon since the New Mexico crash in the 50s.
Okay, so are you saying that if the government agencies that were involved in aliens and UFOs and other things like that were transparent, that would give us enough information to know if aliens were or were not real.
It wouldn't be enough, but it would at least be like, okay, at least we know that they're being transparent now and not hiding facts, or we could probably explain a lot of their back engineered technology that they're test flying, and we could just chalk those up as not real, actual extraterrestrial happenings, but that's just the government trying to fly their fancy new drones for the war in Russia or something, you know? And then we're just like, whoa. Because there's a lot of people that probably just don't realize that there is, some things probably can be explained earthly and within our, you know, knowledge as we understand physics, but they're, like I said, you can't negate some of the physics defying things that were recorded from, like, the Colonel Fraser video and just other things.
Is it possible that the government could be transparent and aliens not be real?
It's possible.
Okay.
It's possible.
Is there a way to tell if aliens were not real?
I think as a human species on this planet, we would have to be probably far more advanced to pioneer out further into space to definitively say that. I mean, the fact that we're here and exist, as we understand astronomy and the galaxies and universe, it's just too hard to say that. I mean, with the James Webb telescope that was just released, I mean, all of the galaxies that are in universes that are in existence right now, from the light years we're seeing them away with the imagery, how could you say that this is the only planet that exists? That's naive to say at best.
What would take you to 100?
I mean, shaking hands with one, being like, "What's up?" And he's like, my car broke down. I was passing by Mars and noticed some weird Tesla flying, and I laughed, and then found this blue-green thing, and yeah, I've got an engine out. You guys got any NAI1? And we'd be like, yeah, we got some from the
'Cause I need some magnets.
I need a magnet for my phone because it's falling off my dash. And we'd be like, oh, yeah, dude. And then just hook him up with some NAI1 that we got at Area 51, and then he'd be on his way. Hopefully, if he's a happy traveler galactic guy, not a world eater. If it's anything like Nope and they're the world eaters, I don't want to share my alien government stuff. I'd rather the government be like, see, that's why we're keeping it secret, dude.
Yeah, for good reasons.
Yeah, maybe they got good reasons, because, I mean, hey, not all these guys, there could be multiple species, like the multiverse theory, and there might be, the amphibians or all these different kind of crazy aliens that people talk about, like the praying mantis looking ones, and and then like the one-eyed purple guys with the horns, and just all these different species of alien that people believe to be in existence. Like, who knows, maybe it's not just one other universe's species visiting. There could be multiple. There's that theory about our Earth is where it is in the galaxy, and we have an asteroid belt. We get hit by debris, and we experience extinction events every so often, and we have natural disasters, so species get wiped out. How many times has Earth had to, what happens if all of our technology gets wiped out and we got to restart and go caveman again? What if there's a universe out there that's got a perfect location where they've never experienced that, but they're millions and millions and millions of years older? They've already experienced what we have millions of years ago, and they're not going through extinction events, and maybe they're going to, they've learned how to send their own version of drone technology through light year space, because they've, and travel intergalactically, because they found out that their anatomy can't do it either, just like ours. It would turn you to mush. And so they're just sending little cameras out and asking the same things we are here. Who's out there? We play music into space. We do all kinds of weird things to just ask that one question. And I think if people could just get that definitive, they would probably just sleep a little easier and just be kind of okay with it, maybe move on in life. And yeah, and if we need to worry about a bad species, we'll just handle it as a planet the way we've handled every conflict,
That's what
and
that
we'll
was.
seek peace.
That was going to be my next question. If you found out that aliens were not real, how would your behavior be different?
It'd be kind of sad because then all these like cool alien socks and all the cool memorabilia I have, and then Area 51, it would all been for nothing.
You'd be
And it was,
sad.
yeah. I mean, the big climax is like they are real, right? And then everyone's like, "See, I told you, we're not crazy." If we all found out that they weren't real, it would just kind of be a big bummer.
How
For
would that
me
affect your
personally,
behavior,
that's my
though?
opinion. My behavior.
Yeah.
I mean, not any differently about my day-to-day life or the way I carry myself on Earth. I still need to go and exercise, drink water, eat food, and human, and take care of my children, and go to my work and do my job. And I just would probably spend less time fascinating about aliens and just play my guitar a little bit more.
You would just be bummed.
I'd be bummed.
Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Where do you sit on the topic?
Like, how confident am I that aliens are real?
Yeah, I mean, unbiasedly, I mean, not taking into consideration the interview or any, I mean, just your personal.
I'm probably in the 20s.
In the 20s.
Yeah, just
That's
because,
interesting because I'm so confident, but you're not then.
yeah. I think that in the 20s is pretty high for a conclusion that we don't seem to have sufficient evidence for. Um, it seems like a whole lot of other conclusions, uh, of which I have no or very little sufficient evidence, my confidence for those things are much lower. But the fact at how vast the universe is, the likelihood that there are aliens is higher than those other conclusions. Um, and at the same time, I think that it's likely that somebody had to be the first.
Yeah.
And I have no way to tell if or how to rule out that we're not just the first ones. And so I guess that's my explanation of why I'm in the 20s. I'm open to raising my confidence based on good reasons. I'm open to lowering my confidence based on good reasons to lower it, but that's currently about where I'm at.
If so, could your level or percentage of belief increase or decrease strictly off of something that another human has just merely vocalized to you? Would you take it with a grain of salt, or are you kind of like me, have to see it, hear it, feel it, touch it, sense it with your senses to believe something? What gives you absolute certainty in something to give you a belief, or even a 1%?
Uh,
If we're going to even raise or decrease just a single percent.
you asked a lot of questions there, and I'm trying to remember them all. I don't think that somebody telling me something would raise my confidence very much. Um, like, I don't think that that's a good reason to believe something. It's because somebody told me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that answers that one. And you said, what gets me to absolute confidence? Was
Yeah,
that one of the
yeah. Like,
questions?
do you have to? Well, this kind of a two-part, and they're throwing them in there. Like, do you
Uh-huh.
have to, like a see it to believe it kind of a person?
I think that helps. I don't think that seeing something is worth 99% confidence in something. Because there's been times where I thought I saw something and I actually didn't,
Yes.
or I saw something incorrectly. Like, uh, I used this kind of espresso stand experience where this was back when we dealt more with cash. I gave them a $10 bill for a $3 coffee, and they gave me $17 back. And I was like, I think you made a mistake. I gave you a $10 bill. They said, no, you gave us 20. And so my observation was that I gave them a $10 bill, but I was mistaken. I had actually given them $20. Um, so I guess that's my explanation of why I don't think observing something would get me to 99%. Um, what was the other question? I can't remember now.
Well, that was kind of it. Was just,
Okay.
you know, so you answered that. Observing it isn't enough. So then, if that's not enough, you kind of, that brings me into, what would get you to that, to raise that, because I talked about the anomaly thing, where when things happen in like a pattern of like three, where it's, all right, I'm seeing something. And so the first thing is that based on what I'm aware of, and that doesn't seem to be right. So like seeing something, that's an anomaly number one. And then other things go into it, like maybe somebody else is there and seen the same thing. So that eliminates a lot of factors. When two people seen the same anomaly, and then when it defies physics as we know it, that's another dot. And then let's say we get that other one, the magical proof, which is the sensory one. So, well, it's kind of like seeing it, but like getting a physical piece of the matter, So when agencies say that there is a element that isn't foreign to Earth that has been multiple different elements, they call it NAI1, but they say it's multiple metals, but it's forged. And what we know that to mean on Earth is it doesn't occur naturally. It needs to, it's natural resources and elements on Earth, metal elements, but we culminate them together and make them, like an alloy or some kind of stronger multiple metals put together, forged, molded, shaped. Um, when they're getting things set and they're releasing, government fact saying these elements, to our knowledge and what geologists know about rocks and pebbles and stones and metal, we don't have this here. And it appears to have been molded in some way. So that means something self-aware would have had to take those things, not from Earth, and put them together for a set use or purpose. And then that item that was made not here with those things that didn't occur naturally wherever it was ended up here, which means whatever was self-aware enough to do it figured out how to get it onto a planet that wasn't its own, which is interesting.
Are you convinced that this object exists?
I'm not 100% because that's that, we'd be listening to other people's mouths.
Yeah.
And that's that's why I leave it up to the speculation, because and that's the fun part. We don't have it for 100%, and that's the great mystery behind a lot of art too. Is a lot of artists never tell you what a painting or a song meant to them. They leave it up to the onlooker to remain curious, so that it'll keep catapulting the topic further. I think if you get the answer, it shuts down. And I don't know, maybe what if
takes the wonder out of it?
What if we knew it was just as normal as going to getting a soda from the gas station? Like maybe Elon Musk would have never been too worried about being interplanetary and getting us to Mars. Because maybe we would have just left it up to the aliens to do all the heavy lifting and the space flying. But now we have a space force, a real space force from the United States military. I mean, are we going to call the United States military some conspiracy theorist people? They created a whole branch dedicated to space. Now, I mean, are we going to start getting in wars in space because everyone's agreed that we can't do it on home turf anymore? And this is a race to Mars for just the human spirit and to take us further into the galaxy? Or
We got to use the Force.
yeah, the Force, like some Star Wars stuff, we got to use the Force. Like, who knows? Like, what the motivations or why they made that branch.
How have you ruled out the idea that we're the first living beings in the universe?
I haven't ruled it out. I'm not certain we are. If what we think is true, or what I believe, I don't know what you have 20% certainty, then I would actually age us very young, very, very, very young, like babies, in respects to the other probably civilizations out there that have been existing. Like I said, maybe they haven't gone through that extinction event, and maybe they are just millions of years beyond us. And I mean, we learned to walk at 10 months and we're really excited about it. I mean, maybe these alien people are like my 10-month-old just hopped his first planet, did his first leapfrog through the wormhole there, or the black hole, or the dimension leap, and that was a proud moment for an alien dad. His son learned to interplanet travel, and he's like, look at it, my boy. Eating worlds on his own without his old man.
That's my boy.
That's my boy, just ate Earth. Yep.
Cool, man. Branden, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting with me. That was fun.
Yeah, dude, for sure. That
Yeah.
was a really cool one. And ironic, too, I just got done with that movie.
Yeah.
It's really coming down. Do you have something in mind?
Yeah, if you see me again, and you want to have another chat, just hit me up.
Yeah, man. I just subscribed to you.
Sweet.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll let you get on to the next one, dude. What was
Awesome.
your name again?
My name's David.
David?
Yeah.
You got my name.
Yep. Branden. Take care.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, don't forget. These are nice too.
Dude, I just bought it. My hands, I play guitar and everything all the time. I can't, just grip like that.
Oh.
And these little things, so money, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, those are really good insulation too.
But this is not the nasty coffee cup when you leave it at work. You know you're going to see next day because nobody wants to grab your one nasty cup. This is the cup that, you leave it, someone's like, you get it, and they take it.
It's a good weapon too, in a pinch.
Right? It is. Hey, have a good one.
Take care.